Oh, gone people. Know that it's been a minute since y'all have seen me, but yeah, I'm here, man. I have to be here. I mean, big up to Josh rolling the fourth win last night. But yeah, what a day it has been, man. It has been an impressive day of track and field, especially just now. Saw records tumbling, man. This is what we enjoy as sports fans. This is what we come to see when it comes on to champs. And two records were just obliterated, and I mean, what can we say, man? I'm still in awe of what I just saw, like literally, like everything about this go on still just fresh on my mind. Like Alana reading that 100 meter for girls, class one, impressive, man. To me, it was the most impressive of both the records. I mean, what Nkrumah did, it was impressive as well, man. But honestly, man, I'm lost for words, man. I just love to see fast sprinting. That is what I love to see in track and field. I love to see records get broken over and over. That's just me personally. I just love to see these things. And that's what I just saw, man. Some immaculate sprinting, farm technique, everything was just unsung. And Chrome is the talk of the town. First schoolboy in the history of Jamaican track and field to go sub 10. Impressive, man. 9.99 seconds. Can't get any better than that. Just that me personally think that you could have gone faster. Like, bro, you're the best in the field. That's clear and obvious. Like, we all know that you're the best. You don't need to be looking across on other people. No need for that, man. Just run your own race, go through the tape, set that record to somewhere where nobody can get close to it anytime soon. So that's my only issue with what just happened. Otherwise, from that, impressive. Not to take anything away from Nkrumah, but man, I was just impressive, and I believe shortly we'll be joined by a few persons, but for now we're just going to go through, man. And as I mentioned, it was just impressive, man, and I enjoyed every bit of it. His start, brilliant. You always know that he's a brilliant starter, and he hasn't won a champ since what, class three. So to finally top it all off, leaving champs, record holder, first to go sub 10, that's impressive, man. Very impressive. Like, big up to the people comment section. Tyrese, big up yourself, my bro. Terry Dan, big up yourself. Dale Francis, big up same way. Kedlan, big up. And Anthony on Facebook, big up yourself as well. Here's Terry Dan saying that Jaja, the KC, they're fast though. Man, super talent, man. Super, super talented. And he's the third junior to actually run sub 10 outside of let's see Letebogo from Botswana and Trayvon Bramell. Otherwise, from those guys, there's nobody else. And to be in that company, you're in very good hands, man. Like, he's really up there. And he's what? Like, this year, if I was his handlers, definitely I would have him go to national trials. That's just me. I would have him go to national trials just to give him that experience. Even if it doesn't make it to the senior team in terms of being part of the team itself, just for the experience itself, I would go to the national trials. Because 9.99 impressive, and as I said, if you look at it, you can tell that this guy can really go faster. So yeah, interesting to see what can happen, man. And here's Anthony saying that Levon, you're lucky that you're able to say something. I mean, so happy for him and Casey, truly deserving of that record. Definitely, man, definitely. And here's Skella saying that Alana surprised me a whole at 10.92 can make at least any World Championship finals. All right. To be frank, I'm not really surprised. Why? From I saw her earlier this season, I saw her run I think it was 11-2 and she beat Serena. I was saying, she can do something impressive. And then when I saw that 11.16 in the semis, I was like, based on what I saw from her, sub 11 was definitely on the cards. 10.92 wasn't really expecting that. High 10.9s, probably about a 10.99, 10.98 thereabouts, but to go 10.92, that's just crazy, man. I show that it really goes to show the depth that Jamaica has in these sprint events, because just to factor in that, all right, Serena didn't partake because obviously she got injured, and then you have to factor in that Tina Clayton could have been here. Tia Clayton could have been here this year once again. Kerika Hill could have been here this year as well. And then to see that all these girls are not partaking in the event, and yet still we have someone running 10.92. And just let's just put a little clarity on this, because last year, Alana PB was 11.22. So to move from 11.22 to 10.92, that's just impressive, man. So we have to give her a lot of props for that, man. And big up to Corey Bennett with the job he's doing over there, man. As she stated in an interview that she holds it to him, man. He has been there with her right throughout, and as you can see, man, remember that she was playing second fiddle to Kerika Hill for most part, and now to step up to the plate and to just run that impressive, breaking a VCB record, which had stood for a very long time. Like a lot of people thought that it wouldn't been broken, and even when it was time for it to be broken, like some of the athletes never really matriculated into class one. Like some of them leave before class one, and the year that we wanted to really set the record would have gone was the year with Ashanti Moore and Kevona Davis and all those girls, but never happened. But here it was with Alana. It was just her against the clock. She ran her own race, and then the record just came by. So that was very impressive from her, man. And here's Kedlan saying that he ran faster than the men at velocity meet on Saturday. Easily, man. We know that most of them, well, we're not going to talk down on the athlete them, because of course we expect something from them. But yeah, it was really impressive, man, from Nkrumah. And as I said, I can't stop watching that race, man. It was just impressive from the guy. And as I say, he can go way faster. I believe in this kid. Like, a lot of people might know that me personally is not a big fan of KC, but if I see a talented athlete, I'm going to point out that talented athlete. And it's been a minute since I've really been taking a keen interest in Nkrumah and his progression. So finally happy that the guy was able to deliver, man. Big run. And also, let's not forget about Dean Andre Daly. This is a guy who has been plagued by injuries as well. Year on a yearly basis, this guy is injured, and came to this meet, semis behind Nkrumah again, ran 10.21, another PB right there. Coming to the final once again, another PB again, 10.14. Impressive from the guy, man. And I'm really happy for these guys because, as I said, generally when I see athlete keep on getting injured over and over and over, you always wonder when it will be their time. Will they ever make it through? And finally, he was able to get on the podium as well with a silver medal, with a PB. What more can you ask for? And the 100 meters overall, all day long, has been impressive. Starting from class 4, Johnson from Immaculate. And let's just point out that this champ so far has been shocking to some, not to some, but I find it very entertaining. Like I find that you have schools that generally not winning events that are winning events right now. For example, Immaculate, Quinella in the girls class, what, 4? Yeah. Um, Johnson won the event with 11.97, I believe it was. I had of Najee Brown, the daughter of Jermaine Brown, with 12.20. So Quinella there for Immaculate. Big things going on. And the reason why I mentioned them too, we have to give a huge shout out to Mr. Quarry. Mr. Quarry come on the show quite a few times, man. He has been part of Sports Frenzy whenever we are doing world championships and track and field shows overall. So we have to give props to them, and he has been doing a very good job over there. And his girls are doing well. So we have to give Quarry a lot of props right there, man. And hopefully down the line we'll see Quarry on the show once again, man. Once champs is over and everything, we're going to have a talk, man, because we have to talk to him on the show, man. Ask him what's the formula right now, because the form of these girls very good. A lot of them are very good, even though they are raw talents. You can see that something good and is really going on down there. So huge props right there. Now we'll look at it as well, and the girls class 3. Tiana Lee Turlang has been nursing niggling injuries all season long. She came into this championship with injuries, but here she was running once again. Another PB for her as well. 11.49, impressive. And she's one that I really believe that there's a bright future for. I mean, if you look at her in some sense, some people say that she's built like Kevona Davis in a sense. And here she was again running impressive. But the one that stood out was Natrice East from Wolmer's. Why? She's a first year class 3 athlete. And then we look at it. She came into the championship with a PB of 11.81. She dropped that down to 11.73. And in the final, came all the way down to 11.59. That was very impressive. She has had a wonderful championships, and a lot of people think that her best event is the 200 meters. So we're looking forward to see what she can do in that event. But I mean, It has been very impressive so far, man. And here's Anthony once again saying that the girls are poised to rule the world in female sprinting. It's hard to imagine a talent like Kevona Davis is in serious threat of not being amongst the top 5 Jamaican female sprinters in the next 2 to 4 years. Well, that's true, yes. But the thing is that a lot of people are saying that in regards to Kevona, it's probably because of workload and all of those stuff, and that on the collegiate circuit is not normal. So yeah, but still have high hopes for her and hope that she'll eventually regain all that form that and that promise and talent that she had shown throughout her early years. So they're really hoping that she can come back to that. But good point right there that she might not be in the top 5 at this point in time. So yeah, I guess Kenyan thing I'm saying that records in the class 1 girls discuss it's an epic champ so far. Definitely, man, because remember that surname St. Jago athlete. She initially broke the record. Well, first it was Cedrica Williams who broke the record. Then the St. Jago athlete Abigail Martin broke it afterwards with a 55-meter throw. Then Cedrica said, "Here, what? It's not gonna go like that. I've broken this record multiple times." And here she was once again with a massive 57th run. When they put this into perspective, I think the best junior last year throw in this event was around 58, thereabouts. So what we're talking about right now is not any mean feat. It has been impressive by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, it has been an interesting champ so far. And we're not joined by a man, of course. So, I believe that otherwise, basketball and NFL tracks is definitely up his alley. As I said, this guy was part of a track and field program, but because he was not good enough, he has to put down tracks. But games all gone.
All gone. Definitely was not good enough at all, at all, at all, brother.
Bro, right now I'm just I'm still smiling from ear to ear with what I just saw, man.
Let me tell you. Good night, everyone. I'm still there at work, brother. But good night, everyone. So my thing is right. I remember last year. I don't know how far you reach, but must like a backtrack a little. I remember last year we were complaining. Why they move the 100 meter? Why they move the 100 meter? Why they move that? And then and I remember every final in the 100 was a legal win until the final where we didn't want to see, which was a Brianna List and Tina Clayton and so. And it was a illegal reading, but this year it really connect. And what I say about the general performances is that one, you can say the coaches really work on these athletes. The athletes are in prime shape, and then two, obviously, I think the interviews. I was listening to the interviews. I think the interviews have gotten much better. You know, the interviews have gotten much better.
Otherwise from
Whatever.
well, leave it alone.
Yeah, man. Just the general interviews. The athletes know how to articulate themselves, so it show that they are student athletes. They're doing their schoolwork and they're also performing on the track. So it's something that will really and truly must shine some light on. So great performance, great championship. I can't obviously me used to the tracks back then. Wednesday normally boring. Champs never start Tuesday when me did that meet. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You get what I say? So, but Wednesday did boring, Thursday did boring, Friday that was the time. But the win used to always be too bad. So, great job by the organizers. We beat them bad with them the foolishness. So we must can applaud them at a point like now. So great job.
That is facts, man. And I spoke about that. The girls class too. I have to give a huge shout out to Virgin Bobby, Bobby has been doing this thing from whenever, and to see an athlete or something that was made by Bobby's company, Top Rock Sports. You
Absolutely.
shout out, man. Big up Abigail Wolf from Early Childhood.
Mm.
Again, another school that we don't normally hear say a win event at Champs. So
Yep.
this is what Champs is just immaculate right now.
Yep. And
Because you realize that it's spread right across the board. Is not you don't have one particular school winning all events and all those stuff. So once again, big up Top Rock Sports, big up yourself, Bobby.
yeah, definitely. I've known Bobby for a very long time, and obviously, this just shows say, Once you have a dream, you believe in yourself, right? In life, I always tell people, bet on yourself. If you can work for somebody else and make them rich, bet on yourself, right?
Facts.
Great job what he's doing. To see, the girl cross the line first and you see the big R, you know,
A big
it,
TR man.
yeah,
Right
man,
there, something I say,
R,
yes.
yeah, man, one of the corner them, I don't know Bobby, watching, I know you probably don't know who look more tracks like that. But to see the big R, it must be a proud moment for him. So big up Bobby for sure. And
Yeah,
just to talk about the Holy Child athlete, boss, let me tell you, like I've been watching the trap meets, following the trap meets, and a lot of these schools are not the quote unquote sexy schools as where track and field is concerned. But I love the fact, say, this athlete never go Edwin Allen, never transfer to home Wood, never try to go one of those schools that is known as the master program. But actually just, Holy Child, no name, probably a no name coach or anything. But, she have the talent, 15 years old. And listen, again, I'll have to go back to the interviews. The way how she articulated herself at 15, I don't think I could have talked like that at 15, right?
facts.
So great job. I really hope that she stays with Holy Child. I hope that helps to motivate other athletes. Say, hey, we're not for go the big dogs. We're not for transfer with Edwin Allen. Enough, we can, build it, where we are. So big up Bobby again, and definitely shout out, to the Holy Child. I'm not sure if she's going to double, but to win her, and as they were going back in history, and I was listening to the coverage with Bruce James and company. And they said when Holy Child would have ever won a gold medal. I think this is the first gold medal they ever won in the 100 meters. So
Correct.
definitely shout out, great job. The championships are off to a great start.
Definitely, man. And impressive from her as well. 11.59. I mean, to see where she's coming from and to come into first, she PB'd in the semi-final. She ran the same time in the semis, and then she come back in the final around the same time again. But what I was impressed by is that you realize that a lot of athletes they tend to wilt under pressure.
Mm,
However, when you realize what she did, just bided her time, went through her phases, and just like she did in the semis, let her top end speed come through at the end. And that was what worked for her. And I'm really happy for her, man.
yes,
Really.
definitely. And she also alluded to it, because they asked her about being left back in the blocks, and again, she basically outlined the race that she ran. She said, "Boy, she know that once she get up to that speed, she know that she's within striking distance. She know that she have it locked. And again, you never see any flapping, any turning. She held her form, and she did really, really, really well. And you know, you can't
And
say
just
enough
before
about.
yeah, and just before I came, and I also spoke about another athlete that I know that you're really impressed by. I'm talking about Natrice East from Wolmer's. First year
Yep,
class three,
yep,
brilliant from her, man. Impressive
yep,
championships.
yep. Listen, and again, not to throw any shade out there on Terry Long or anything like that, but um, I don't know. For me, I always like underdogs. I don't like the winner out there, right? But I've been watching Latrice is from she just come onto the scene, and athletes like these are the ones who oftentimes go on to propel to be the great ones out there. The ones who and she was very humble in defeat. I have some Wolmer's friends, so she knows some Wolmer's people, and she's a very humble girl, very hardworking girl, and she'll be back, right? First year she. And Levon, we spoke about this, and we spoke about this, the Olympics, World Championships, and even champs now, where we say, if you can go to the championships and you can personal best, that is the goal. So the first goal,
Definitely. Yes.
personal best. Once you do that, perfect. If I get a medal while I personal best, we can't say nothing else.
Simple
So
as that.
so she come there, and obviously everybody want to win, but there can only be one winner. There can only be one winner, right? So to personal best and to get a silver medal, first year class three, to somebody who is leaving class three. So she's going to be the person to contend with. So excellent job by her.
Definitely. And as we speak about that, we'll just look upwards to the class one girls now. As I was talking about it earlier before you came on. 10.92, bro. That's just crazy, man. Just when last year we were having a big talk about Tina Clayton running that 10.95. We're saying how
Mhm.
big that time was. And then just to come and just say Alana just like basically just throw that to one side. She never really cared. She just went out there, she stated and said, I just ran my own race. I was just focused on me, and that was all about it. Remember, before the race run, I said to you that if both she and Serena had run, I'm still taking Alana to win the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I came to the conclusion when I saw that 11.16, bro, I was like, hmm, something special is there because I realized that remember that it was a negative win at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And running 11.16 in a negative win, plus also shutting down early, I was like, this girl can go sub 11. And
Mm-hmm.
here it was.
All right. So this is what I'll say, right? And before I even touch on Alana, let me tell you, women's sprinting in Jamaica is going absolutely nowhere. Let us not remember. Let us not forget. I should say, Tina Clayton, Tia Clayton, Brianna Liston, Kerry Cahill. All of
Yep.
those could have been a chance
This
today
year.
running.
Yep.
Could have all of them could have really lined up in at that final and run. And who knows what the time would have 10-8 probably. Who knows what the time would have be, right? So let me say that. What I'll say about Alana Reed, fantastic athlete, right? Let us not forget that Serena Cole beat her at the character trials. So
Let's not forget that Alana beat her before that. So
yeah,
what are we saying? It is one versus one right
no,
now.
but which one you want to win? The character trials are just a little corner beat.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but so what I'll say, let me talk about Serena Cole first, because I'm gonna praise Alana. But Serena Cole, I don't know, I don't have any insight. I don't have any insight on what's going
Mhm.
on. But all I know is that she has struggled with injuries, especially when she do long jump and the 100 meters, right? She have some little niggles. I am saying, clearly, I don't think she was going for no record or anything, but I don't know. And as a brain analyst and do it very well. You reach out 50 meters, just track it through the finish line, and then the final you can go out there and do what you want to do. If nothing more than, okay, school is in a tough battle, and we Heidel right there, we can't afford for that to happen. And just for you as an athlete, knowing your history, I think you have to run a little bit smarter than that. And she was fine for 95 meters, and the last 5 meters we saw what happened. No, Alana
Stick
Reed.
up in.
Yes.
Before going further, remember was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. Remember when Liston just went out and just blow the field, and then there was one particular person called Tina Clinton. Tina Clinton was basically like this
Just laughing. Yep.
because she was basically jogging. So I'm
Yep.
like, you see, Alana just go ahead and just blow by 11.16. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to kill up yourself, bro. You know that you're
Yep.
that good. Just run to qualify for the final.
But if it's one thing I noticed with Serena Cole that I've been watching her this season, this season, majority of races, she run very, very, very hard. Very, very, very hard. And well, Evan, this is one of the hypotheticals are there's one of who don't know what gonna happen. But if Serena Cole was in that race, boy, I think it's going lower than 10-9 too. And I think I don't know if Alana Reid winning that one. Boys, no,
Relax, man.
boss. I give Akila time for that, but man, not lie. Serena Cole looked really good, like smooth, and she have the start over Alana. And when two athletes are that close, just a simple start can make a difference.
True.
I don't know if Alana could have win, but she is the champion now, and we can only talk about what happened, right? So congrats to her, and congrats to greatness, right? Again, these athletes train hard year round and to come out and perform on the biggest stage, must be commended and great job.
All right. And here's before I get Akil in, here's SCSL saying that if Cole ran, the race would be faster. I'm not saying she would win, but the time would be even faster. And welcome to the great man, as Devin said, Akil. Akil, I was here last night listening to you and Joshua talking about these records. If they will go or not, I said that you are one that fantasizes about records because you love fast times, but you don't really see the sub 10 or anything of that sort. But here we are. Let's just start off with Alana Reid, first off.
I Good night, everyone. I'm shocked. I, when I look at my TV screen and saw the 1092, I was like, "What am I seeing on my TV screen?" Um, I must admit, last night I did say that they weren't going to break the record. So yes, I take the L. Same for the men's 100 meters. But I must say I'm very proud of Ayana Reid. I don't think you guys. I just want to. And I'm not saying you guys don't understand, because you do understand. But I just want to put things into context. Ayana Reid literally just dropped zero point 0.3 off her PB at these championships. Zero point 0.3 seconds off her PB. Like,
Not
I don't even know if she had anticipated to
not
drop.
not only that, Akil. I mean for cut you, but mega cut you, right?
That's all right.
But remember, Alana Reid just qualified for champs March 11th, just the other day. Because up until this time, she hasn't qualified for champs. Whatever was going on, and I think there was a race that she ran, and she fast started in that race. Obviously, had no reason to fast start, and she fast started. And this was, I think, this was the last meet that was available. And if she never run, then she wouldn't qualify. So again, all these things put, when you put these things into context, and then as you say, for her to drop her time that much and to come out and execute a race like that, you know, if it was a Shelly and Fraser, Elaine would have jump up and down and beat down the table and a pot cover, so we must give these at least their due as well.
All right, right before Akio go again, brother. Right now, right, I saw a bun me, brother. You know when I do like this,
Mm.
I swear, man. Akio, continue.
Oh my God. Like, honestly, I don't even know what to say, because even you guys were right. Like, if Serena was in that race, it would have been faster. Hands down would have been. And let me say, a healthy Serena Cole, that race would have been faster. But I think what surprised me so much is just it's a start. It's the start that surprised me. I know that I know that Ayana is a very good start, but the way how she got out of those blocks, I know that she's a good 200-meter runner, so definitely her latter end of her race is definitely going to be strong. But her start in this race was just was superb. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I think we're witnessing a golden generation in terms of of Jamaican track and field. And I remember Bianca Knight, I think she was saying it last year, that she believed that the juniors are actually going to be the ones to break that world record
Mhm.
because of the chemistry that they have in the 4x100. And if Jamaica doesn't break it before then, I know those four girls, or those four, five, six girls, are going to break it. Honestly,
All
I
right, stick
mean,
up in Akil. Let me just correct him quickly. So it wasn't Alana Kims, it was actually Terlang, because I remember that she was I think I don't quite remember which meet it was, but she was at that particular meet, and I think she fast started and then
Yes,
she
yes,
to go
yes,
to
yes.
GC faster in order to
You're right.
qualify. So it was
You
actually
are right.
Terlang.
You are right. Yes, absolutely. You are right. Yep.
Akil, continue.
yes, I was, yeah, as I was saying, like I'm just, and the distance she put on that field, like, in Jamaican terms, that's donkey lengths. And it was a quality field. It was a quality field. She did put the distance on that field. And I think when I saw the race, it got me thinking. Like, when you have too many star athletes in one camp, it really takes away from the quality of their performances, Because if you look at it, Liston gone, Karika gone. So therefore, she would have had all of the attention. She would have been getting all of the training, right? To ensure that she beats Serena Cole or even win the Class 100 meters. And the fact that she ran
But
10.92.
wouldn't we? Can't we say the same thing about Serena Cole too? The twins,
Yes.
the twins them gone. She get all of the attention now. She not even do long jump like that anymore.
Hey, listen to me, man. Like, and I think, when persons talking about like star athletes leaving camps, actually, I think it's actually good for Jamaican track and field when we don't have too many stars in one camp. because when you have athletes getting individual attention, we get times like 10-9-2.
But yeah, Alana was just impressive, brother. And as I said, she was playing second fiddle to Kerika for most part, but finally here she was, and I was say we can't take anything away from that. 10.92, bro. Like VCB was at what 11.13, and she just basically threw that through the window. Like that record wasn't even there. She just basically said, "Yo, no longer have anything to do with this." And as I said, I'm a sucker for fast times. I love to see fast times. I love to see record being obliterated. That's just me. I love seeing these things happening. And
Don't worry. No, Noah Lyles is coming for that 200-meter record
oh
real soon.
man, here we go with that talk again.
No, 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 no.
But
It's no joke.
no, no,
It's
no, no,
no
no. I'm
joke.
not. I'm
Like,
not. I'm not ruling it out. But let's leave that alone for now. We're focusing on
okay,
champs.
okay, understood. But what I want to add as well is just the fact that Serena Cole ran 11-1 injured. Like that is just like, that is just crazy.
I don't think she started the race, shirt.
No, she wasn't.
I don't think she
No, but
And
started the
I
race,
think.
no,
I think. I think she herself got that injury worsened by slowing down. I realized that when she felt in the gun, she literally slowed down. Come
but
on, Serena, you're better than that. You know how injuries work already.
yeah, but also and I've voiced this complaint about her seeing her run over the season. If you notice, regular athletes they follow through when they run. So they allow the momentum to slow them down.
Hmm.
She is like she pressed the brakes right away and just stop right.
That's what I say, yo, she shouldn't have done that
Yeah.
because that only gonna make the injury worse.
Yeah, or can cause injury.
There you go.
Yeah, or can cause injury because, as I said, for the 95 meters, she was perfectly fine.
Yep, and you realize that even when I was watching the race, I never saw any grimace or anything of that
No.
sort. It was literally up to 95. You realize
Mhm.
that.
You know, when athletes hurt, them always come out with the them little tape and
tape,
all
tape.
them, all these things. I think she was perfectly fine. But, it's really unfortunate. But again, these things are a part of the sport and, just,
Definitely.
things that we have to just deal with.
Before we go on, I'm
Yeah,
just
but
give a shout out to the people in the comment
mhm.
section. Countryman, big up yourself. Kedlan, same way, big up yourself. Devin, big up yourself. April Grand, Curtis H, B.I. Strong, Urel, Cool Kaiser, big up on yourself, man. Keep the comments flowing, keep the likes coming, and subscribe same way. Continue yourself, Akil.
I don't even want to get ahead of myself, but good lord, I can't wait to see that Carifta final, under 20 final. She versus Hodge. My
Mm.
goodness.
Just remember, say you're talking about a
Jeez.
monster right there, bro.
But guess
That
what?
Hodge girl from what? USVI? Is it
Yeah, yeah,
USRB?
I don't know. I think it's British.
One of those
I could be
islands. I
wrong.
don't remember
One
which
of
one
those
exactly it
islands.
is, but that
It's
Hodge
British
girl is
Virgin
just
Islands, man. It's British Virgin Islands.
I don't really know ready for that yet, boss.
I lie you a tell.
Let's
I
go on.
just not ready for I lie and I read.
All right. All right. All right, Akil. Remember, we go through this just the other day with the championships, and you have to come and say I was wrong. But I tell you, Alan not ready for this yet. Me could go and enjoy the champs win for her, and me could just left it there. So when we
No,
reach
but what?
after, we'll move on. But she's not ready for
But
that.
why are you gonna say that? Just because you ran 22-3 indoors? But
I'm
don't
just
don't
saying.
bear in mind, no,
Listen,
22-3 is fast.
no, boss. So again,
Mm-hmm.
uno probably look on like time and so right, but for like watch a track event, like me look on more than that. Like me look on execution, me look on dominance. But just and this hard athlete is just a better athlete than Alana Reid at this point in time. She's
I
just a better one.
disagree.
I mean, you can. I mean,
Maybe in the 200, but not 100.
okay.
that
Not
is that is
100.
where I would agree because Kems in the 100, I think Hodge can be beaten, but you see over 200 now, Hodge is a monster.
If Hodge can be beaten over 100, Alana Reid won't be the person for beat her. I promise you that. I
Hmm.
promise you that
Okay.
Alana Reid won't be the person for beat her. But when that time comes, then we can have that discussion about it. Let us just celebrate the athlete right now because she has done something phenomenal, and we have to respect that. I don't want to start beat her already. It's too.
Yeah, here's Arman said that Kems, you should have up North Street.
George is my good brother on North Street. My school up on North Street, but George is my good brother. We have to big up the school. Up to the
And
break.
of course, your favorite person is here. They saying that Kems, did you take your pills today?
Track there, man. Big up yourself. No, I haven't even got home to take my pills yet. Just finishing up some work and the greatness happened, so we have to jump on right away.
Yes. SCSL saying that I disagree. Track and field is mostly about times. I don't care how
No,
you run.
no, that's it. No, well, I guess if that's all on a pre-track and field, I guess. But again, I think it's more than. I guess it's more than just time. Because if it was about time, I remember the year when Nesta Carter must have run 9.7 and everybody was jumping up. Nesta, Nesta, Nesta. But when I look at Nesta, I know say Nesta never good. It's just one of it's just one of them race day when just run a good time and that's it. I just think, when you love track and field, when you study the sport, when you're into the sport, you can't just solely judge it on time. Again, you judge it on, a duration of performances, you judge it on, a whole different scale than just okay, this person run 9.9, they're great. Like when I know when we talk about Nkrumah, then we can break that down a little more because he's an athlete. I didn't think he would have done that, but we'll talk about it in just a few moments here.
Alright, and just like how you mentioned that, let me just get this in first before I get there because that's exactly where I'm going to go. Yes, Albert saying that Hodge will not beat Alana Reid in the 100 meter. Hodge personal best is 11.3. She can't test Reid in the 100 meter.
Okay, all right, okay, okay.
But
No,
yeah,
no,
okay,
no,
the man just make a valid point, bro. 11.3 in comparison to the 10.9.
no, but I'm saying there's a 10.9. No, look, where are they in their seasons? Alana, a peak season right now for Alana.
No, but the
Alana.
thing, no, but watch it, bro. Just like I think it was about a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
Um, what's her name? Hodge ran 22.3, I think. I think it was just about roughly about a month ago, if
It,
that long ago.
And
I
she ran
understand.
11. She
Oh,
ran
go ahead.
11.17. She ran 11.17 recently, man. Yeah, 11.18.
Yeah, I know. Well, as I say, we don't need for stretch man that because as soon as we talk about a Jamaican losing, everybody jump up and get crazy. It's okay, it's okay. But we could have talked about Alana Reid winning the 100 meter at champs right now.
All right, Currency, welcome to the show again.
Yeah, man, how are you?
Not hear from
You hearing me?
kind of low.
I'm low. All right, let me see what happened in here.
Why?
Come to the youth,
Yeah,
young
man,
man.
how are you? You hearing me now?
Yeah, that better.
All right, good, awesome. Um, I don't want to go back to I don't want to stray from the discussion, the angle of discussion is at, but what I wanted to do was to just go back to Alana Reid's race.
Yeah, man, can go ahead, man.
Okay, so when what the execution of her race would have, well, if you go back and look at the transition, if you go back and look at the transition in her race, from the drive phase to the recovery, was there's almost no distinction. So there was no slowing of momentum, and I think maybe she ran that well because she was under no pressure.
I
So
agree.
she was able to execute the race the way she wanted it. And then the
One,
separation that she got by 60 meters allowed her to relax in the way that she should so that she could maintain the momentum straight through the line. I would want to see her under pressure to see whether or not it's a one-off because 10.92 is
Miss,
not an easy run.
Mr. Collin, let me introduce myself, boss. My name is The Voice, right? And I'm the voice of many reasons, right? But let me tell you, Mr. Collin, if you want to see Alana under pressure, just go back 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks ago, and watch that character trials race where she was under severe pressure.
We're
And
not going
you'll
back in
see,
time. We don't
and
do
then
that
you'll
around
see
here.
how you'll
Oi,
see how she
oi, oi,
react
oi,
under
oi.
pressure.
Stop. We're not go back in time. Speak on what is
No,
right now.
no, but I'm saying. He's asking for evidence of her under pressure. So I'm telling him the evidence was 2 weeks ago, like literally 2 weeks ago. She was under immense pressure. Oh,
Look, 2 weeks in an athlete's preparation is a lifetime, you know. Especially depending on what program she was on. Because let's say she was peaking for champs. When you saw her 2 weeks ago, she would not have been anywhere near her peak. So of
well,
course it would look as if she's under pressure.
well,
Because you see, no man, no, think about it. It depends on what type of program she was on. Because if I know my athlete is good enough to just make Carifta trials, make the team, I am not going to pick my athlete for Carifta because I know that I have champs as the thing that we want to win. Whether or not we see champs as a backyard thing or whatever, the fact of the matter is champs for most of these high school athletes is the thing, even
okay.
more so than Carifta. So if you're peaking for Carifta,
Mhm.
for champs, of course, 2 weeks ago, it's going to look like you're under pressure.
Okay, Mr. Collins. So me could narrow the scope right now because we only have to talk about two athletes, right?
Right.
We're talking about Serena Cole and Alana Reid. Both athletes are peaking for champs. Both athletes are peaking for the same exact thing because Serena Cole made it her duty and she came out and said it that she want the 100-meter title at champs. So and knowing the coach, Edwin Allen, his track record is good enough where I can trust that he make him athletes peak the right time. And I think, Heidel coach have the same track record as well. So I would say both athletes were on the trajectory to peak at the same time or around the same time. We can agree to that, right? Even though we don't really have the facts, but based on what we have an idea of, we can agree to that. What I'm saying to you, Mr. Collin, is that 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago, the same chance what Alana Reid did have to make the Carifta team is the same chance where Serena Cole did have to make the Carifta team. Like both of them had the same chance. But as Levon alluded to earlier, Alana Reid beat up Serena Cole like 2 weeks before that. Right? She beat up Serena Cole and everybody else say, want to Serena, blah, 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 blah. Right? But at that point in time, nobody was talking about where was Serena in her training. Everybody just said she beat up Serena, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks after that, no, Carifta trials, big thing, right? After champs, then a Carifta. And if you know any athlete or any junior athlete right now, one of the main things they want to do is make a Carifta team. Once you make a Carifta team, you feel good by yourself, right? So all I'm saying is that Alana in a race where she knows that she win. If she knows that if she start late, she win. If she give him a 10-meter jump, she win. So absolutely no pressure. But when the last time I saw her under pressure at the Carifta trials, it never looked too good, Mr. Collin. It never looked too good.
But
Make
Kim,
we
so
back
that
up.
Kim can easily counter that by saying that, okay, for Carifta, that it's the top two that will qualify. So why do I need to give my all or push my all in order to qualify?
But I'm saying, that I want me to say, Levan, watch the race. Like if you watch the
Mm.
race, you will see Alana trying to win the. All right, Alana look 10 times worse 2 weeks ago than she look here. Look here, she looked like it was a stroll in the park at 10:92, and I think she ran 11.16 or something at
Mm.
Carifta. I'm not if I'm not mistaken, something around that side, and she
Mm.
was killing out because she was under pressure, as Mr. Collin rightly said. She was under
Question:
pressure. Yes, Mr. Collin.
who got injured? What type of injury was it?
Who got injured when today? Serena Cole got hurt. I'm not really sure
Hamstring.
exactly the injury.
Hamstring.
If I was supposed to guess, I would say it was a hamstring.
What one of the easiest injuries to get when you're pushing, because when you're exerting, remember now, you have to see yourself against your fellow competitors.
All right.
And based on where I am in my program, because I'm sure both athletes are not on the same program. Stephen Francis used to say that he don't pick athletes, and I personally don't really believe in picking athletes because it is too narrow of a science. That is my personal thing, right? I don't know what other coaches will tell you, oh, me pick my athlete for this event or whatever. I don't really believe in peaking athlete. because every athlete is different. So while we would have seen Alana, let's say, looking as if she's under pressure, it depends on where she was in her progression at that time. What I'm saying is that you see Serena Cole with an injury now, and it's a hamstring injury,
Uh-huh.
which could be one or two things. Either she never warm up properly, which I highly doubt, or two, the muscles were so tuned because she realized she had to put herself in such a shape that once you fine tune your body to a certain level, the injuries as fit as you are, that at your fittest is when you're easiest at your easiest to get an injury.
Or,
And mhm,
Mr. Collin, there's also a third thing. An unfortunate situation does happen and she just got hurt. That's also a possibility. Let's not forget that one.
yeah, well, what any athlete, because
Yeah,
90% of
yeah. So it
athletes
have to be
run
one of the
injured.
two that you mentioned.
90% of athletes run injured all the time. 90% of them, right? If it's even a little tear somewhere or whatever. But what I'm saying is that I feel that Serena, you'd say, succumb to the pressure. That tightness, because
What
you see,
pressure?
who ran first? Who ran first in the
Alana ran first.
so me see you run an 11.6. It means saying me have to go run 11.6 or something because I have to prove, I have to send a message too. And as I think,
Uh,
and I am not near the camp, but
yeah.
I believe that in this, and Serena, listen, Serena is one of those athletes that I would have watched her progress. I would have seen her in the shadow of the twins for quite a while. And then she was able to step up to her own. So I have seen her as a fighter. And maybe it's that fighting spirit this time that got her injured because I felt like she was trying to prove a point. I don't feel like she was in 11-1 shape. I don't think she was in 11-1 shape.
Oh,
I am looking at her. And I don't think she was in 11-1 shape.
Mr. Collin.
I respectfully disagree.
Sorry.
Mr. Collin, I want Mr. Collin. Listen, and I
Tell me
don't want
why
to,
you disagree. Give me
Mr.
a
Collin.
reason why you disagree.
Hold on, may I make him talk? But Mr. Collin, I don't really want to turn it out in a Alana versus Serena conversation. I was really trying to run from that,
All
right?
right.
I was really trying to run from it. But let me just say this: Serena Cole has been in a level one shape for about 2 years now, boss man. I not just yesterday this happened. What yeah she
11-2.
did?
11-2 is totally different from 11-1. Sorry.
What did if level one? Remind
11-2.
what when she whopped up Tia Clayton the other day. They were not last season. What time did she run? Almost 11-1 something she ran.
11-1? No, man, 11-2 something sure, man. There's no way she was in 11. It was
But
And then wait, what time I think she run at Crafter Trials? 11-1, what she run? 11-1-3 or something like that?
thereabout. But here's chat them and saying that Serena never pushed. Serena was in sub-11 shape. News from the camp.
tear up the muscle. Tear up the muscle. Listen, if you're not in the shape, that don't mean that you can't run the time. This is the mistake that people keep making. Even if I run the time, it don't necessarily mean that I am in that shape at this point.
But my thing is, Mr. Collin, she has been running 11-1s consistently this year. I don't like her first time I run
Tell me
11-1
the other
last.
events. Tell me the
All right,
other
Tim, hold
points
on a
that she
sec,
ran
Tims.
11-1.
Hold on a sec. So, Colin, based on information coming from
Mm-hmm.
the producer let me know that you're actually a coach. So, coming from a coaching perspective, why do you think that she wasn't in this particular shape? And I want you to expound on the statement that you just made. That okay, not saying that an athlete is not in the shape means that they can't run the time. So, I want you to expound on that.
I am just looking at just technique and execution. As I say, I'm not in the camp, so I don't know what type of training she would have been doing. But I'm just looking at her running, comparing her to previous years. Let's say even last year. She the transition from acceleration or drive phase to acceleration, etc., was to me forced. She never looked as comfortable at any point in any of the races. So, in other words, you're pushing your boundaries then. You understand? Remember, you're naturally fast. You're doing the work that's supposed to have you running certain time. You may be lifting the weights and etc. and whatever. But at the same time, your body is not in the shape to run that time, even if you do make the time. In other words, you're going to get a breakdown. Your molecule, your structure, your muscles are going to break down, right? Because the body is not yet ready for that. And I don't believe that she was in no 11-1 shape. Because who knows, maybe you hear from the camp that she was injured. You understand what I'm saying? So being injured means that you have to pull back on the type of training that you are doing. I did not see her as comfortable going through the rounds, and I'm talking about the different phases of the race. I didn't see her as comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't see her comfortable. So while she might be able to run a time because of her talent, it don't necessarily mean that you're in that shape right now. And I did not see her in 11. I just felt like she was pushing herself to get there, and she's not there. I think the other twin, that one that fell off a bit, would have demonstrated that hey, I am not in the shape that I'm supposed to be. Of course, I'm good enough to win, or I'm good enough to run close enough to the times. But let's say to be running as you should in a free manner. I'm able to transition from this phase to that phase easily, and I don't look stressed. Every single race. You realize how she break up after every race? No, nobody don't realize that.
Yeah, we
You know what
spoke.
that
Yeah,
you know
we
what that
alluded
hold
to
on,
it.
you know what that is? You know what that is?
What is
That
it?
is your muscles locking up on you and you want to shut it down quick. I'm telling you that. That
But
is your muscles locking up on you. Somebody else have to tell me something different. Me not come on for that. Somebody have to tell me something different,
coach,
and then have to carry some videos come show me and tell me something is
coach,
different. That's
coach,
why she's shutting down so quick. Because
Miss.
me happy shut it down because right now my muscle are lock up on me. Because at 60 meters out, I'm already straining.
Ah,
Help me out.
Mr. Collins,
And then tell me where I'm wrong.
Mr. Collins, this is a tough show, Be careful how you come out here with your coaching grades,
So
because
tell me where I'm wrong.
we're going. No, I'm just so. Listen, for me,
Mm-hmm.
again, all right, and again, as me say, I don't really have no inside information like Track Diamond and April, who then at the comment section and so, right? But I believe to say Serena Cole is not in 11-1 shape, I think that is incorrect. I just think it's downright incorrect. All right. I think if you tell me say she not in sub 11 shape, I might can hear you out.
Hmm.
But if you tell me say she not in sub one shape, something where must see she run effortlessly this season. Again, when I say
Mm-hmm.
you, I don't know, you are showing me something else. But again, with my eye test for me, see when Serena is running, I always see like today in the semifinals. I never see any. I never normally, and I can compare last season and this season. Normally, you just see like a grimace on the face. You just see she a fight. You just see she a crawl for the finish line. Right now, is easy cheesy lemon squeezy for me. Right? So I think she'll be closer to if you tell me say, well, boy, I don't know if she can run sub 11. Then would I buy the argument, everything what you say. But I can't buy the start the coach.
What speed did what time did she get injured at?
11.1, no, 11.16 or something like that.
11.17.
Yeah.
1-7, 1-7.
You in a 11-1 shape, that's not where you're going to get injured. You're going to get injured trying to run sub 11.
Again,
Listen, is a point one of what a tenth of a second is
yeah.
a big old difference. A tenth
No,
of a second is a big old difference. It's
And
a
I
whole heap
understand.
of work to break down a 10.
No, and I
If,
understand that,
if
right?
me, for me personally, if let's say the race was 11-2, she would not have been injured.
And you can't say that. You can't say that because that is something that's not proven. So we can't come here
And
and
not say it's proven.
no.
I'm
But
just
hold on,
saying
but hold on.
that based on how she looked and based on when did she start showing the sign of the injury?
At the end of the
Before the race
race,
done.
yeah, right at the
Before
end
the
of the race, like the 5 meters before the race is ended.
right. So in other words, me, I got this fast, and I think my muscles are snapping back at me and making me know say, yo, you're not in that shape there.
All right. So court
Because me
C,
not think I warm up.
court C. Listen. Right. So again, you can come here and you can provide the education about the muscles and this and that, right? But again, for me personally, I just
Mhm.
think it's one of those things where she just get hurt. Like I don't think it's any muscle this, any muscle that, but those things say she just get hurt.
I
I'm
did
an
say that
athlete,
I'm not
these
in the
things
camp,
happen.
so I don't know.
Yeah,
But
these things happen. So again,
but
you're
yes,
spewing good information, but I think it's spewing in the wrong direction. I don't think it's a Serena direction.
she jumped this
But
year.
a good information,
She
a good
jumped
info.
this year. She
Huh?
was jumping this year. Was she doing any jumps this year?
She did some jumps this year. Yes, she did.
How many did she jump at Carifta?
I do not
No,
recall.
Did
I
she jump
don't
at
remember
Central?
seeing her. I don't
But
remember seeing her
Come
jump
back
at
yes,
again.
yes,
Central.
yes, yes, cool guys are saying that. Me, I start believe
Me
Colin.
come back again. Me come back again. Hey, shake it. Tell me anybody who on here listening to this program. Tell me how many times she jumped this year, and that alone will tell you what
Nah,
shape she was
she
in.
jumped.
If she
But
was in, listen, if she not in the shape, the coach would have just tell her, say, yo, forego the jump for right now and focus on this.
I think
Because guess,
some things. I think if I'm not mistaken,
mhm.
she jumped a couple times, but remember last year, she got hurt during the same jumping garbage,
How you know, say that the injury come back to her?
Yeah, but
Though,
we don't know. Me don't know,
no,
and you don't know.
But
right?
hear what
But
though. We're
that's why
gonna
I
need to wrap up
started.
this
So, me
soon though,
not in
because we
the
need to go to
camp,
improvement.
but based on
Yeah.
what I saw, in the race, my girl was struggling.
All right.
She was
Coach C,
Mm-hmm.
struggling.
we're gonna pick up this
Oh, she
later.
jumped at somebody said she jumped
She
at
did.
Carifta Central. How
Yeah.
did she do?
Okay. We stand corrected.
We'll talk about
Uh,
that for the next program, Coach C.
can I can I make a point though?
Sure, sure.
I respect your opinion, Colin, but I respectfully disagree. Eddie and Allen are the masters of playing possum, and I can tell you, Serena Cole was definitely in sub 11 shape. Like she doesn't need to prove any point. She didn't need to prove any point. Even if Ayana Reid beat her at Carifta Trials, it's not Carifta Trials, at Central Champs, and she beat Ayana Reid at Carifta Trials. Semifinals, trust me, there's not a lot on the line in the semifinals. And we've seen it over and over again from adrenaline athletes. We saw it last year with Tina, with the time when it's I think Kivona Davis first year at class one, first year class one, and even in the when she was running well in class two. Adrenaline athletes don't the trend is they don't normally give us 90 performance in a semi-final.
But
So
Akil,
I just
you know that you and I can be at it all night long, just like how you respectfully disagreed
that's
with the
fine.
coach. I can respectfully disagree with you as well because Serena was pushing in that race. She was. It
I,
was
I
obvious,
don't,
and she
I
never
don't, I don't,
needed to.
I don't think so. I don't
I
She
think
don't
so.
think
was.
so.
I don't think she was pushing. So I don't think she was pushing because she wanted to prove a point.
Of
But
course, she
again,
was.
that is something that we'll never
She
know.
was.
No, oh, you know that. That's something we'll
It was
never know.
clear and obvious.
No,
You could have.
no,
You
it
could.
wasn't. Impossible. No, it
There's
wasn't.
only one person. There was only one other person in that race that was somewhere on par, and then she has been carrying an injury as well, and
Who
that
that?
is Alexis James.
Should-
So you never need to go so hard. Simple as that.
Alexis James was all the way at the back. She beat up that regular. But
That's the point. You
so
make my point now, you know.
no, but I'm saying, Levon, like we have to be careful. We can't come here and definitively say that is the reason. I don't think so. Like, I don't
Just
think
like
so.
how you can come here and come and definitively said that if she was in the race, she would have beaten Alana Reid.
I
There we
just I
go. We can
but
all nitpick.
I didn't definitively say it. I just said that's my belief. You didn't
But
have to
yeah,
have,
what though? I even mentioned it before he came in as well, man. Big up to Coach Corey once again. Corey's part of the family. Seeing his two immaculate girl, 1-2. Lots of props there, man. So big up Mr. Corey as well, man.
STGC production.
I'm
That
for that
was
you,
my track
man.
and field captain.
Yeah, but you're not. But STGC now doing it right now.
No, no worry, no worry. You see what we do
Yep.
the champs the other day.
Right now you can't talk to me, you know, brother, because me have two athletes in the final, so I know some guaranteed points.
We
Again
guarantee
this year.
points too. We have people in a long jump final, high jump final. You don't know
Me not
where
say
I'm
that.
going.
I don't know. Me can see
You don't know where I'm
STGC on the
going,
map,
man.
brother. So I know what you talk about.
Hey, I want to talk about the Kingston College guy before my drive gone my yard, brother.
But breaking information. It said that Alana Reid is going to Oregon.
Yuck. Why would she go to
From
Oregon?
lo- from long time, from
Why
long
would she go to
time, this has
Oregon?
been announced. Why would she not go to Oregon?
She's going to where?
Oregon. Why would you go to Oregon?
Why?
Yeah, like why would you go to Oregon? There's so much schools to go to. Why you want to go Oregon?
Do they have
Facilities.
The,
them start
bro,
have a proper spring
facilities
program?
and you want to go Oregon?
Facilities.
Why wouldn't you not want to go to Oregon?
Hey, no
No,
disrespect to
man.
the school. It's like you have the whole place to go, and you say,
But hear what? Don't deny we talk about this. All right. Encrew me. 10.99 seconds.
nine.
Well,
You mean 9.99?
9.99 seconds. Sorry about that. I said it. I knew that this guy would have went sub 10. And I mean, from last year, I told a lot of KC people that they could talk from now till next year, telling about school work, when I go back at champs and blah blah. Foolishness. This man was going back to champs to prove a point. This man was going back to champs to put the record out of reckoning. That was it. And I mean, as I said, I hadn't won a champ since class 3. So, of course, let her play on a guy, man. Like, come on. He's a top athlete, hasn't won since class 3. Wanted to prove a point. So here it was, 9.99, but still, I'll say it again. I still want to beat him. Why, brother? You're so way ahead of this field. You know somebody not feeling good like you. Why the hell you turn and look for them on them for? Run
So,
through the line, drop this record down to low 9.9s. Simple
so,
as that.
so I know Coach C want to grab at it, but Coach C, may I beg you a little run the car. I forgot me yard. They had people in my office too long. So beg you a little run the Coach C. Listen, Levon. So let me be the first one to say. I'll apologize to Nkrumah, right? I thought it was a waste of time for him to go back to school. I thought he was bigger than school. And I say, where you go back to KC, you go do. You know, in a sense.
Still bigger
You
than
know?
school.
But what I'll say is, and based on the interview that he did, and based on some information I'm gonna get from some Kingston College, not the girls that may feel like them go Kingston College, but the actual Kingston College people, right? Some information I'm gonna get is, I think the reason is valid, and the same thing I'm gonna talk about the other day in the group live on, where when you have some personal goals, you just want to accomplish that. No matter what else happen, that is something you set out and you want to accomplish, right? No, the man has been in, there's only two juniors who have run sub 10, and that is Mr.
Tebogo
Show Off Man Tobago and
and
my athlete
your
over there,
favorite athlete
Bramwell.
Bramwell.
Yes, only them two man there before, right? So the man is in elite company, right? And again, he said that he never run in best race, right? And I guess he and Daly are friends, and they're really close friends, So you even mentioned him in the interview and say he's really happy for him, and I want to take a moment to talk about that, right? And I don't want this get lost in the victory, but you see when you're on top of the world, boss, and you can take time out of your glory for recognize other people, it say a lot about your character for me. So for him, remember, no matter the first school boy if you do this, this is great, great, great. And at this moment, this is where you're supposed to take all your praise. The man say, well, I just want to shout out to, Daly because he met an accident, I'm sure,
Yeah, just the other
people
day.
know he made an accident and he was doubt for champs and him saying I'm gonna come back and for come and run a personal best is something really remarkable, right?
I remember that he did it twice actually, and the thing about it is
Mhm.
that Nkrumah is remembering this guy because
Mhm.
they're basically down the same path. Plagued by injuries over and over and over, and finally here they were in a final PB. Both of them with PBs, massive PBs at
Mhm.
that. So yeah,
Yep. And and I think Bruce James alluded to it when he said, in one of the world championships, Usain Bolt did the same thing, looking for Asafa Powell. Where are you, Asafa? Where are you? But we know what Asafa was doing at that point in time. But I think, he wanted Daly to come up. He wanted Daly to do well. And again, for you to take a step out of your moment to shine light on somebody else, I think that's really remarkable. And what Nkrumah said, man, said, well, people like Levon should just be happy about my time. Don't worry about what me never execute or me I look round and we're just happy to win and
bro. Remember that time when I happiest camper for this guys, but say yo, so him go
uh,
through. But
yeah,
me tell on say about the sub 10. Will
yeah,
never believe it. But tell on man, cause bro, me say this man literally a jog 10.18 this
yeah,
season. Like
mm-hmm,
from say that I'm say yo, it's definitely in sub 10
yeah,
shape. And the thing about it is that happy about it, but as I said, brother, the execution at the end,
yep,
yeah, man, know say I try to look out for your friend and all that. Run
uh,
through the line.
yeah.
Run through the line, brother. Just do
But
that and done.
Levon, I'll tell you this, right? Sometime when you're there in a race, boss, in your mind, at this before you start the race, and coach C can expound on it. Before you start the race, you gotta run through the line. At this you want to do, at this you gotta do, and then you get into the race, and everything just unravel. And right now, you just him so used to a look back every time. It probably does second nature for him. Him just start, and then just reach the finish line. I probably there's no like me don't know. I don't know what was going through the young man's head, but what I can say is that I do not know if a performance like this will be replicated for a very long time. This man has been dominant, and I think they say what he is the the
First.
21st. Yeah, he's the
Just like
20.
with Alana.
Yeah, just like with Alana, and he's the first person for run sub 10 this season. I
Yep.
guess, yeah, legally, the first athlete for run sub 10 legally. And I like his confidence when he says he's going to make, the world champs team and all of that. And again, you know, this is where we'll talk about, and this is the last point I'm going to make. And they even made a point about it on the broadcast level, and we spoke about it at length last season. These athletes, we have to find a way to keep them together. We have to find a way to ensure say we bottle them and make sure say them get the right nutrition, they might get the right training, they might get the right this, they might get the right that because we can't allow them for uh can but because again we can talk about so many athletes. Even the Andre Wellington we are coach and crewman now. That man should have been something great. The Romaldo Rose of the world, the Dwayne Extras of the world. We can talk about multiple athletes who have been there. The Ramon Mackenzies of the world, who we thought that they would have reached the apex, and it just never happened for them. And it can be many reasons. And I would have hate for your end crewman just come and just become stagnant and start reverse. I remember Winston Barnes in a class 3, the man that was the first athlete who broke 11 seconds. That was a big thing. Now him a run from us to Turkey and him change his name to Jack something or. So like those are the things that we're talking about. So most can find a way to start get the athletes at a younger level and grow them together and so that them can manufacture for be some good. Obviously we can't challenge the USA and all of that. But I think we have enough talented athletes from especially from the male standpoint for make an impact on the world. But yeah, that's what I have.
Um, when I was races, he probably would have ran and run one of the fastest times. So sometimes, sometimes execution. I think he was the fact that his friend was near him. It looked to me like a Usain Bolt at Beijing situation almost because it was the same thing. Bolt ran that fast because Asafa was he knew Asafa was in the race and he expected Asafa to challenge him. Um, the boy could have run probably maybe 9.92, maybe less. Because the minute you start looking around, you already throw off your hip, you throw off your momentum, your forward momentum. So imagine that if he had run. But most of the race was terrible, aside from the start. Very good step out of the blocks, very good transition into his running. But aside from that, everything else was terrible. But sometimes you run your worst race in terms of execution, and it's your best race in terms of time. So big up to him. Um, I don't know what else he can do. I'd love to see him run at Carifta and do very well, just to show, just to solidify the time that he ran. Because to if he goes to Carifta and run a sub 10, then he would then in his head and in the heads of all the other high school athletes, hey, that was a mental barrier, you know, a mental barrier. So that mental barrier is gone now. What else can we do? Let us go to sub 9 right? And that is where now you're gonna have you have some young guys. There's that guy Todd. Because sometimes I don't really look at the ones who win in a champs. You know. I look at the ones third, fourth, and fifth. Because sometimes it's them who, when they reach the class one, they are the ones who really stepped up. You know what I mean?
And
So,
just as I mentioned that there's a particular guy from I believe it was Saint Catherine. I think he came fourth in his semi. Like
mm-hmm,
you could say that this guy was just running off just pure natural talent, no
mm-hmm.
technique, nothing at all. And I was like, he was tall, lanky figure, well built. And I was like, this
Those are the ones the
coach
clubs
is
love. You know.
dream. I
Those
literally
are
said
the
it,
ones
man.
the clubs love. You know. Because with all due respect to the named schools, a lot of times the athletes who are at those schools get burnt out because of
True.
too much too soon. Me know a whole lot of coaches hate when I say it, but every time I see an athlete at 15, 16 pulling heavy weights, I give them the side eye because I'm like, is how much of it you're narrowing them because hey, it's a threshold thing, you know. And every time you add weight, you know, so you're going up.
Yep.
So people like Bolt and them, they escape because they were at non-traditional track schools. You know what I mean? And I'm hoping for his sake that the coaches at whichever high school, I mean at the KC and so on, would look back at the fact that so many athletes, you call people like Andre Wellington and some others, who would have fallen by the wayside. And enough time is simply because they got too much work to the the body, the physique too early. And
Yeah,
because of that,
but think about Nkrumah, for example. I remember that he was injured for some part, so a couple of
yeah,
seasons he was down. So that could
arrest
really
that, you
play.
know. Hold on, the run, you know, arrest, you know.
Yep.
This is what not running does, you know.
And
When you
guess what? Just
actually
like I
add
mentioned
stuff
that.
to
Look
the
at
body.
look at what his name, man? Blake dude. That is running now, man. That went to Merlin at it. That guy, remember that he was out for literally 2 years out of track and field now. Now look at him. So valid point made, man. So Akil can chime in on the argument now.
Tobogo is gonna pay for not running that 9.8. I think his record is gonna go. For me, and I'm glad you mentioned it. You know, he overcame that mental barrier, and I think the fact that he has overcome that mental barrier, I expect to see at least another sub 10 seconds from him. Um, to be honest, I would love for him to run at national trials. I would love for him to run at national trials where him now got him can't slow down and look side by side and all them something here. But for run to the line in order to finish and win the race,
Right before
right?
he came on, Akil, I mentioned it and I said that I'd really love to see him at national trials, even if he doesn't make the team, just for experience purposes to say, yo,
Hmm.
run against the big boys and he's right here. So he get a feel of what it actually is. And then next year for Olympics, he can look at it and say, all right, this is my time to actually shine. And the thing is that I want him to go into a program that I know that he will be the focus of attention. I don't think going a program where he's probably like fifth, sixth, seventh down the line. Carry on,
How
Akil.
tall is he? Is his I mean, I am can only go off what I've seen on Kelly regarding him. I know he's a West man. I know he's a senti man. Um, how tall is he? Anybody knows? Because all
That's
of these things factor in, as to how far you go at that other level. Because you remember some youth them look very good at class three because their body structure, their physicality or their physique matured faster than others. So remember the Adam Cummings and some other guys, they were running 10-9 and whatever at class three, and by the time they reach to class two, class one, the growth of the others caught up with them. 5'7", 5'7". Well, for him, if he's slim and he's running that at that speed, he might make it. But you see, if he gets bulky, that's it for him.
fair.
I don't like to. I understand. I understand that your coach's eye
Akil,
and so
Akil, let's be
forth, but
fair, Akil. Five,
I don't
five,
like to.
5'7", muscular figure. How fast do you think that Nkrumah will actually go? Let's be honest right now.
Nobody have to understand. I get it. Normally, he wouldn't go fast, but you have to understand track and field. Many of the persons who do it in track and field are normally persons who, you know, go past exception are exceptions to the rules.
True.
So I don't like to place those limits on individual, but
And
I
as
can
Kulka is
understand.
saying right here, Akil, and I think Kulka is supporting what you're saying that oblique well short though, and he's going 9'7".
Oblique
Well
shot,
short
really?
and well slim, short and
No,
slim.
oblique not that short, man. But oblique, look here. This is what I'm saying now. It depends on the structure. If you are, if he's that size and he has fast twitch muscles without being overly massive. You know, the more
Mm-hmm.
muscular case in point. I mean, Blake is about what 5'10" or something like that. You see the amount of muscle he has to pack on just because he has to run with power. And yes, it helped him, but it also hurt him. If you get what I'm saying. Um, People like that Canadian guy. What's his name again?
DeGrasse?
DeGrasse. You realize that he's not a he's more of a leaf sort of fella. No massive muscles. It's long muscle bellies and so on. Those persons tend to stay in the programs longer at that level. I don't know why somebody maybe need to go and do a study on it, but a lot of times enough coaches them bulk them up because them say for me to have you running. You know what I mean? I not somebody need to tell me how tall oblique is because I don't see oblique as about 5'10".
I don't think he's
I know,
5'10".
I know the body dynamics and all of that. People are going to say, oh, there's an exception. There's always exception. People like Brummel and some others who are massive, I mean, muscular and so on. There's always that exception. But I'm saying in the general, when you are 5'7", if you can run fast without being bulky, you tend to last longer. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that you can do whatever, but if you are able to run without being overly bulky, because look at Civil. Civil's not a bulky fella. He's not. You
True.
know what I mean?
But Akil, anything else on this?
Yeah, man. But as I was saying, yes, I think Tobago's record is gone. I think it's on borrowed time. And to be honest, this is coming from someone who thought that Nkrumah was going to run 10-1-6. I thought he was going to run 10-1-6 in the final. So, you know,
At this championship.
yeah, at these championships. Yeah. So I will say that I've been
Akil,
humble.
Akil, stick up here, Akil.
Yes.
So I saw this guy just the other day. As me I go keep on mentioning him. Jog 10.18. You believe that? Come this final, this guy would have run 10.16. Really?
It's not far fetched.
Come
because
on,
uh,
fam.
because
Come
no, no,
on.
no, it's not far fetched. Because guess what? The thing about is that, look, as I was saying before, you know, he can run 10-1, he can run 10-1, he can not run, but jog 10-1-8 at Carifta, but then come at champs and just not deliver on what was promised.
Akil.
But
Once again, Akil,
I understand,
This guy went
I
back for a reason, bro.
I
He wanted
understand,
that champs record as well, brother. You really feel saying him that will get that? Come on, fam.
I understand. I was proven wrong yet again. The-
At
You know,
least, at least you're all up there.
but yes, man. He's talented, and as I said before, I was actually upset when he, because I was really upset because I almost thought he was going to run 10 seconds flat because of how poor his race execution was. I was like, why is this young man looking back? Why is he looking side by side? But I'm really happy for him. DeAndre Daly though, 10.14, and he finished second.
Dale has been injury plague forever,
Injury
man. Like
plagued and
every year, this man injured.
10.14.
I think this is an
Ah,
athlete that can be worked with and worked on.
yes. Yeah. He can
You're
be
impressed with him, right?
he can be
Impressed with
world
Very
DA.
class.
impressive, man.
He can be world class in a couple in like 2 3 years.
Don't be surprised
10.14.
if those are the ones that make it. No.
Woo.
Because if you look at his body build and all of that, he's built for this event. So yeah, I expect a lot from him, man. But not to take away from the class two athletes either, because as I said, Akil, I was listening to you guys last night. I remember I said it to Josh that look out for Shaqua in Garden. I like Tad and everything because I think Tad, if you're looking for an athlete that has technique and go through all the phases of a race, then you look at Tremaine Tad. However, I just think that based on what Calabar is going after right now, and based on how things are currently is, and when I saw the semis earlier today and I saw Shaquille, this man had a very awful start. Like the first 40 meters of that man race was very poor. I'm seeing come back in the last 60 and the man literally shut it down at it. I was like, had in trouble in that final. Was proven right. Garden got the win. But I think that race was overshadowed by another Garden for what happened with the KC athlete, because a lot of KC people are having arguments that he cost them a bronze medal and also might have cost them some vital points because of what happened. And well, it was a tough one because seeing the replay, it seems like he did push him, but some people are saying that he just lost his footing and all of that. But I've been watching both of these athletes keenly from championship began, and there seems to have a little rivalry going on right there between both of them. Even if you look back at the, I think it was the semis that they ran together. There was a little thing going on right there between both of them, and I was like, could that be a part of what actually transpired afterwards? But hey, I don't like the conspiracy still now, but I just have to put it out there.
Moving bodies. Move when people are running fast, you don't, it tend not to have a lot of control over what you're doing. So I think it's accident.
Really, Akil.
I think it's accidental.
You're in lane four. I end up in a lane two. Huh?
Those things can happen. Those things can happen. I don't think he intentionally lost the race just so that he can drag the Casey guy with him. I don't think so. But
I didn't
anyways,
say that, bro. But one
no,
thing I want
I'm
to
just
ask
saying
you.
I don't think so.
All right.
Uh,
Some.
but
I know some. Shoot.
yeah, I was saying that.
Lojang and Robles all over
Right,
again. 110 hurdles. Final. I just felt like that was more of a me. I'm taking you out.
Well, it's hurdles. But yes, yeah, I
but
actually agreed with
what I
you.
want to ask you.
You hearing me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, I was saying that I actually agreed with you. He was one of the persons I was looking out for. I said before, I was saying to Josh yesterday that in a race where it's tight, you always want to look at the persons who are coming from the schools who are fighting for championships. And Gordon, when I saw the listing, because I didn't get to watch a race, when I saw the listing, he stood out to me. And as I said before, even though Calabar is way behind, way behind, the saddle. I think that they're gonna seriously push for champs this year. I think they're gonna win. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, man, I said it yesterday that I don't think, I'm not saying that they're favorites to win, but I think they're gonna spring a surprise. So I actually wasn't surprised by that. But I'm happy for him. And 10-4-0, especially with the start that he got, is very impressive.
All right, and as you mentioned that, I'm just going to display the point standing as it currently stands. Alright. So on the girls' side, after 9 finals, we have Oli Childhood in 10th on 11 points, Camperdown in ninth with 12 points, Women's Girls in 8th with 15, St. Catherine I in 7th with 21, and Alphonsus Davis I, they were 22, Immaculate, they were 23, Idel, they were 39, Omo the 41, Jago with 47, and Edwin Allen, the defending champion, they were 55. Based on what you're seeing, was this expected after basically second day or surprised by the point standing? Anyone?
Thought Heidel would have been
Okay.
probably about second. Actually,
Yeah, but
thought
based on what I've realized with them is that generally it's on the third day to the fourth day that I don't tend to
fourth
make
day that
moves.
they start really, yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you,
But
gentlemen, watch out for Homewood.
Hmm.
Alphonsus Davis, I'm very happy to see what you consider non-traditional
Yeah,
high school in top 10. St. Catherine High. So I'm always looking out for these schools that don't normally you would normally see as the name the schools in champs. So I'm happy to see a spread. I mean, the program at GC Foster with these coaches and having the coaches all over the island has really moved the thing from just being centralized to certain schools, and I love that. I want to see more of that. I want to see more athletes willing to stay in the school in their community, just to kind of give it a little bit of boost, though, because too often, and this is just me and one of my rants, too often the good athletes are so-called purchased and they're gone to these other schools where probably if they had stayed at their school and get the attention, hey, who knows? Maybe these would have been the world beaters.
facts. And as you mentioned that one of those particular athlete for Alphonsus is Kishiro. I've known her from way whenever, and I think a lot of schools has went for her, but she decided that she's going to stick and stay by Alphonsus, and she got a silver medal earlier on today. Would have loved if she had won the event, but I'm just a huge lover of Jodie and Mitchell, and I just wanted her to break that record, and she did break that class one on 1500 meter record. So yes, that was the only reason stopping Kishiro from getting the title. But as you mentioned that, right now I'm reeling from my school as well enough because I had an
Hmm.
athlete, Abigail Campbell, and then I will just come and snap up Abigail Campbell. So right now I'm hurting over that. And then I had a youngster who came third last year in class 300 meter. When I look at the starting list, retro champs, can't see the man name none at all. So I'm saying, no, I'm gonna make a phone call. I make the phone call, me I say, yo, the man gone to our next school, so I have to sit out this year. I say, see it there. Two top talent with medal last year, two of them gone. But that's one of those things, man.
But the thing is, and and I'm glad you're here, Colin C, because you can. I don't know if you can testify to that. The problem is, yes, you want the talented athletes to stay at these non-traditional high schools and do well, but the truth is that at these schools they're not guaranteed support, and that
True.
is why they would move to a more seasoned or a bigger school, because when you think about there are some schools where they have strong athletes who can make finals, but then at the same time as well, the athlete does, the athlete gets little support, the coach gets little support, and because of that, um, you know, it just turned the athlete off, and them decide say, yo, I'm gonna just leave and go somewhere where I can get the appreciation or get the resources. So yeah, so I think that is I understand you wanting athletes to stay at the non-traditional high schools or non-traditional track and field schools, but at the same time as well, I do think that schools in general need to step up and fight for their athletes, and I don't think a lot of schools do that. That's just my honest opinion.
it's hard to fight, you know. It's hard to fight because speaking as someone who would have lost a few athletes to traditional high schools in terms of fighting for champs, um, at, it's a catch 22 because sometimes those athletes go into those schools and they are lost because they get injured and so on. And if we have a whole lot of athletes and I have two athletes who I can use to replace that one, then that one is thrown by the wayside and that's it for them. And if they were at their original school, because they're the only ones who are of that quality or caliber, then they tend to get more attention. It is sometimes, it depends on this, you'd say the administration of whichever school they're at, because you have some administrators who are track fans. And even though it's a one athlete in the school, they go out and get corporate bodies to support that singular athlete. And it builds a program. You have seen the Peters Field, you have seen the Belfield, you have seen the Herbert Morrisons and so on, who have stepped up their program simply because a one athlete would have done well and a few others joined them and stayed in the program. So it's a catch 22 because hey, sometimes they get the support they need at those schools, and another time them have to leave because, as you say, they won't get the support to bring them to the level. Me,
Facts.
I personally, if the coach is there and the coach, because a lot of times, you know, those you say top schools only push for those athletes. After that, athlete would probably have gone to champs and would have won a medal or two. So it means that the athlete is already good enough. But they then step to the parents and give them all kind of fancy offers. You understand? And I don't afraid for say it now because I lose a whole lot of athletes that way who have been their parents have been offered stuff and after the athlete left and they get injured, I hear nothing about them. But then at that point I have to be like, oh, you spread your bed, you know, you have to lay night. So that's
Understand.
that's just how it is sometimes. But let's see how the rest of the champs days go. I'm looking forward to the other finals because these have been exciting so far.
That is a fact. And as I mentioned, that let's just put out the boys standings. For the boys, after 8 finals, Wolmer's and Belfield tied for ninth with 6 points each. Cornwall College there with 9. Herbert Morrison with 12 in seventh. Magatii, surprising a lot of people. I remember, I think it was in one of the 1500 meters they came third and fourth. So that was massive points to finish behind the KC pair. So, yep, big things from Magati right there. Um, in
Love
fifth
to see
place,
that. Love to
yep,
see that. Magati. Yes, man. That's how I love it. Magati,
yep,
big up Mr. Sean Graham and them people down that side.
yep. In fifth place, we have St. Elizabeth Technical with 27 points. Realize that over the past couple of years, realize that Stets is always right around that fifth and fourth spot. So it's good going for Stets as well. We have St. J going fourth with 28. Calabar way down there with 29 points. And right now, we're not looking too bossy for Akil on his prediction. We have Casey there in second with 61 points. And out front, JC with 74 points. I mean, JC did very well in the field events. They got the Quinella in the class 2 boys long jump. And then they got 1-3 in the class 1. Well, they got 1-2 in class 2, and then they got 1-3 in class 1 with the guy from St. Vincent, Uriah Ryan winning the event of the favorite. Well, they said that he was the favorite, Demari Prince from Jacob, but Uriah got the victory. So massive points for JC right there. And a lot of people think that JC will actually win the title this year. They'll actually take it from KC, but as I said, quite a few days to go. Lots of interesting things to look forward to. Anything from you guys before we close it off?
I'm good.
I see KC retaining their title.
Hmm.
I'm looking at the depth and looking at the quality of athletes, and then less barring injuries, I don't see KC relinquishing their title. Calabar, sorry, you're out of
Not
this.
this year.
Yeah, man, not this year at all.
Calabar
Well,
down the last one.
All I will say is that a 40 point lead, 40 point lead in day two, it doesn't say as much. That's all I will say.
And what I'll say is that remember that your predictions don't normally look too bossy, so right now
That's
you're in
okay.
life support. But let's point out that there's what four cards were broken today in the class one girls 1500 meter, class one girls discus, the 200 meters for the two 100 meters for the class one boys and girls. So yeah, as I said, this is what I love to see. I love to see records be broken, and right now feel a wasting that kill because you and Kim's not gonna stop sing on this, but no lies like a 200 meter record. So they still that one beat Bolt right now. Bolt should have
No,
put
no,
that
no,
record at 18 seconds.
no, no,
Make
no.
them, make them
No,
have
no,
no
no.
talk about it.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you why I think it can be broken.
We're not gonna go
Not
into that. My next show down the
yes.
line.
One next show down the line.
But yeah, but that's simply I said, Bolt should have put the record at 18 seconds. So man like you and Lies and all of them couldn't have the talk on this. Because I really say no really nobody talk about the 958 because them say yo on a little boy time that, but the 19.1 we'll go continue to talk about that, and Lies been talking up a storm from whenever, but you know that we're going to have a lot of chat show going forward. So Colin, bless you come on the show, boss. You're welcome anytime, and I think producer show tomorrow. It's a Friday. All right, so Friday we'll be back here definitely with another track show. So big up Colin, big up Akil, big up Kim Zos here, and of course can't leave out the people who make this possible. One's in the comment section. Without we don't have a show because we're just bored and we're gonna talk to ourselves and we don't like that. So big up the people in the comment section. Remember, like, share, subscribe, and keep the channel growing. Until we see you again, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are watching us from.